Welcome to Redundant Opinions, where the thing you need most on the internet is another two straight white guys thinking that they're right about the world. Welcome in. My name is Kochi, and this is Cami, and we're here to hopefully chat about Call of Duty, staying on PlayStation, Microsoft Activision Blizzard-style acquisition might not go through, Ubering games to your door, and a bunch of other stuff, I guess. New social media platforms are popping up, and things we wanted to have a chat about that, and yeah, content in general, scripting. And when does content possibly become content? How you doing, Cami?
I'm well, mate. I'm well. Lots has happened in the last time since we've, had a chat. The background may look a little different. I've moved house, so that was an ordeal. Apologies. So yeah, the reason the podcast didn't come out last week, folks, it's my fault. Dickhead me decided he was going to move that weekend, so here we are. But yeah, no, been a busy couple of weeks. And looking to get back onto that content grind as fast as I possibly can, noting everything that's gone down lately. How about yourself, mate?
Moved, dude bought a house.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, I think that's a good enough reason. We were blaming Cami because my reason of not doing the podcast was I was hungover and I didn't want to get out of the couch. So that's my. We're going with his reason because he has a better reason than mine.
Yeah, look. I'll take the fall for it. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, you remember that you were there the night that I got the phone call.
Oh yeah, he was jumping up and down. I never seen him so happy.
I was shit faced too, which yeah, definitely either helped or didn't help the situation. I'm not quite sure yet.
Yeah, we're like, oh yeah, cool, you bought a house, awesome. Anyway, we're talking about content, and he's like, no, I have a house. Like, yeah, we get it. All right, no.
We get it. Shut the fuck up.
Just drink your yum yum juice, okay?
Drink your yum yum juice. Exactly. Yeah, that was basically how it went down. But anyway, what have you been up to, mate?
Oh yeah. Besides being hungover, because high functioning alcoholic over here.
Yes.
Yeah, wrapping up with things with work for the year. And then basically trying to start reviews and then getting halfway through and then just being like, it's the end of the year. I'm tired, and I just stopped doing it. So I need to get back on and actually do that. My hope was to do review then video podcast and review then podcast, and that was a fucking lie. So now we're here.
I'm glad we at least got that line in once, because we were going to do it otherwise today.
Yeah, that was a fucking lie.
That was a fucking lie.
Yeah, it's the pointy end of the year, so we've basically got everyone wants to do that socializing that they forgot to do for the whole entire year. So even since mid-November, it's like, cool, every weekend is essentially booked until the end of the year. So if someone's like, hey, we should hang out, I'm like, I will see you next year. Sorry.
Basically, yeah, you look at your weekend plans, you're like, nah, that's it, chief. That's yep. You don't have a slot no more. Come back next time.
Pretty much.
So
yeah. And then we always forget about it, and then we wait till the end of the next year to do exactly the same thing again anyway.
And as a content creator as yourself who's reviewing games, it's a bitch of an industry to be in, because obviously, we're Christmas parties, social events, that sort of stuff. We're all getting, hyped. It's New Year, all that fun stuff. But this is the time of year where games are coming out. So it's like, you know what? I would love to work on stuff, but drinks.
But there is drinking and socializing to do.
Exactly. You wander off into the fields, and that's all she wrote. So
and we'll never learn either. That'll be next year. It'll be exactly the same thing. The content's there, and I guess that with me, because it's not my job or anything, I can just be like, meh, I can just do a few podcast episodes, and then I can wait and review content when I'm available.
Yep, exactly. It does the keeping it nice and casual in that sense is a good step.
Yeah, it's one of those things though. It's like, well, if I don't ever finish a project, though, I'll just sit there with half-finished projects. So it'll be February, and I'm like, I released that Stray review. It's like, that was 6 months ago.
Ooh, yeah, no, that's the problem with reviews. You got to be timely about them, because it's literally a race against some people. So yeah, it's
an interesting balance as well, because with review content, it can pop up at any time. So it is that balance point. Yes, you get this big burst of views and timely releases, but 6 months later there's a Steam sale, and then you just get this spike in views because people go back and look at reviews, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a matter of optimizing your search engine optimization, your your click through rate, that sort of stuff to really get people through the door. So yeah, but
Need
anyway,
to
that's
need to learn me thumbnails. I'm sure that'll be something that we'll
mhm,
talk about at some point. Get your thumbnails going.
love it.
A future topic.
Yep.
Going from the future to the past, just quickly before we get into our topics. There's something that popped up recently after us talking about Gamer Network, which I thought was really interesting. And it's just a little
Yep.
note because there's nothing that's really developed from it recently.
No.
But because the whole debacle with GamerNetworkCo, it's gone. The founder went off on a big Twitter barrage and everything like that, and how he's an entrepreneur and he was looking to just get the company and make it a bunch of money and then sell it because that's what he wanted to do. And it was like, okay, cool, it's finally come out. Awesome. And that's gone away. But then a friend sent me another interesting Twitter account that got created it got created a couple of months ago, but the tweets and the meme style of this account and the way that they talk and the color scheme and the name of Fan Support Co. it piqued my kind of senses, I guess, because I'm not linking to it or anything, but it's essentially, instead of for gaming and streaming creators, it was for exclusive content websites. Let's say it was one new exclusive content website. But yeah, same color scheme, same typical angle of we're going to pay you a lot more than everybody else. Posting memes, and then just the timing of the tweets was like days between him finishing up with Gamer Network and then this got created randomly, which was very interesting. So it'll be something that we'll be developing shortly.
I'm just going through the tweets now. There is absolutely no chance that this isn't the same dude.
Right.
This
like,
is
I don't want to
100%
assume,
no.
but it does link up.
No, I'm not even assuming. That is 100% the same dude going for the OnlyFans market.
Just picking a different one. We were wrong though, remember? So I think we guessed it was YouTubers, or it was something. What was the next thing it was going to be?
Yeah, true. Yep, no, that's a good point. We didn't quite get it right, but this man continues to amaze me regardless. So I'm looking forward to his next act. I'm looking forward to his next play. It'll be good.
It'll be interesting.
I'm here for it. I really am.
So that was something that really piqued my interest, which was cool.
Yeah.
But we also talked about the possibility of things like Activision Blizzard's, the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, possibly creating a exclusivity deal with Xbox, which was interesting.
Yep. It's been interesting to see how that's developed too. So, we've had the likes of Phil Spencer lately come out and say that, we think Call of Duty will be on PlayStation as long as players want to play it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And this sort of goes back to that conversation we were having a couple of weeks ago where, we brought up the point that, consoles, they don't make a lot of money on them. We know that consoles are more often than not sold at a loss. Where you get people coming through the door is with your games, the transactions made on those games, DLC through the stores, stuff like that.
Yep.
And while yes, if you were to force every single Call of Duty player to buy an Xbox, then you get the Xbox Live service fees and stuff like that.
Yep.
It doesn't really matter though, because if you purchase something through Activision or through Call of Duty, depending on what platform you're on, obviously the service provider of that platform will take a cut of the money. I don't know exactly how the cuts work and how the splits work, but I'm just going off of business knowledge here.
Yeah.
So, say PlayStation, they'll take a cut of the money, they'll take a cut of the sale, but then guess where the rest of that goes? To Activision Blizzard. And if Activision Blizzard is owned by Microsoft, they're making that money anyway.
Yeah.
It literally makes no sense to cut a huge percentage of your player base and potentially alienate them entirely, because half of them aren't going to go and buy a fucking console.
No, just to play. I mean, we did talk about console sellers, but I don't think COD's a console seller. I don't know.
No, I don't think it is either. And I'll tell you what, if they were to make this decision and then you did have another shooter available on all consoles, guess where that's going? I think they know this. I know there was that huge fear that, Activision Blizzard will definitely do this and will make things exclusive for the sake of making them exclusive. I genuinely don't believe doing that for COD is a business savvy move, and I think they know that too.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I guess it there was such a big player base and diverse
Yeah,
console player base as well. It'd be kind of just shooting themselves in the foot at that point.
yeah, exactly. That said, though, there is a situation where this does change.
Hmm.
In the sense that, it's so we're not so just to be clear, it's not Call of Duty particularly that may go through that change. Actually, no, sorry, this is Bethesda. My apologies.
Well, it's still
Getting
another
my
company that is acquired by Microsoft, so they may not do it
correct.
with COD, but they could do it with something like the big Elder Scrolls stuff that is going to
Yep.
make people jump all over it
I'm
all the
I'm
time.
pretty sure Starfield is going to be an Xbox exclusive.
Mm.
Um, and so it goes to show that Microsoft are not unwilling to make things exclusive. I just think they know that making Call of Duty exclusive would be the worst idea they've had in a long, long time. With Elder Scrolls, for example, I think that's probably a more fitting console seller, right? It's a big single player game. You're not going to make money through well, I swear to God,
Horse armor?
I hope to God they're not going to make money through microtransactions with it.
Horse armor. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
Horse armor in
exactly.
Starfield, or whatever the Elder Scrolls game is.
Exactly. But no, but yeah, the point being, they're not going to make as much money in the long term as far as like, ongoing transactions are concerned. You'll have DLCs and stuff like that come out for
Hmm.
the game, but it's not a constant stream of revenue like Call of Duty is, even though it's coming from other platforms, whereas Elder Scrolls is more of a one-shot sort of thing. So that
Yeah,
would make sense, I think, to force console players to look out and go get one. But yeah, no, I don't think it'll happen with COD at all.
it's just too big, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And it would be like if it was as well. I think even did they say with Elder Scrolls was it a timed exclusive or was it exclusive like just Microsoft platforms? I have to check on that one.
So they've hinted it. They have hinted it, but there's no discussion about what exactly it would look like.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there you go. So apparently, so this is in response to UK's Competition and Markets Authority. This is how this got brought up.
Yep.
Microsoft has claimed that The Elder Scrolls is a mid-sized franchise compared to the likes of Call of Duty and Minecraft, and making a future Xbox exclusive would do no harm to PlayStation and its market share, which is a ballsy comment to make. But I also find it
Yep.
really, really ironic for our friends over at PlayStation to start, kicking up a bit of a stink when, you know, Call of Duty literally for Modern Warfare 2019 had a timed year-long Spec Ops exclusivity mode.
Yep. No, it's only bad if someone else does it. Don't you know that, Cami?
Sorry, my bad.
I
But
can
yeah, no.
abuse people. It's only when people abuse me that it's the problem, okay?
No, stop hitting me. I don't care that I hit you first. Fuck off.
You're not defending yourself, you're abusing me.
Yeah, exactly. But no, yeah, it's been an interesting sort of debacle to read over, and because I've always believed that a healthy degree of exclusivity is healthy for the market,
Hmm.
right? It encourages. You see, I'm gonna make it. Here's a hot take. You ready for
Hot
this?
take, here we go. This is the
Hot
early
take.
one. Yeah.
It is an
There might
early
be a
hot
few
take.
this episode, we'll see.
There very well could be. So currently, you've got a lot of franchises that are so embedded into, gaming culture, Elder Scrolls, Call of Duty, Battlefield, all, like these big cross-platform franchises,
Mm.
right? If you were to make things more exclusive to certain franchises, then it would challenge more devs to start being a bit more original and coming up with new franchises and reinventing the wheel in some places, which I think would fix some of the stagnation we've seen in the industry lately.
Yeah, it kind of bugs me at the moment that not finished is the standard for video games at the moment.
Oh no, I'm so fucking annoyed the fact that early access is no longer a Steam exclusive thing. It's just AAA developers releasing their game in a
Yep.
beta state because got to hit that release date, fam.
Yeah, that's it. And like even just AAA games, like we'll patch it later. And the I don't want to say it, but like Cyberpunk, right? Like Cyberpunk was absolutely horrible on launch, and now there you go. If you release a shitty game, as long as you have an anime like a year later that's really good,
Mm-hmm.
then people will come play your game and forget that the launch existed. Like,
Yep.
people are saying, I always believed in Cyberpunk. You know, I knew it would be patched, and I'm like, just shut up. Like, it was a broken mess of a launch, and there are still bugs in that game. I don't know about game breaking, but I'm playing through it. Like, again, at the moment, I'm closing in on finishing it, and it's super fun, but yeah, it's still buggy, it's still broken, and the fact that it's just it wasn't ready.
When a platform takes down the most hyped title of the year off of its store only a month after release, you know you've got a problem.
Yep.
And we need to stop pretending that it's okay for games to release and then be patched later. Battlefield 2042 this week just broke its concurrent player count for a year on Steam. And that's mainly due to the fact that it's gone free to play for a weekend.
And they had a massive ad campaign for all the streamers to force to play it.
Yep, exactly. But I'm so sick and tired. And the devs have said this in interviews. They said this is the state we wanted the game to release in. And it's just like, dude, it's
But it's a year.
So frustrating. It's a year. Like everybody who had their head screwed on when the game came out said this needed another year in the oven.
Yep. And I'm not going back to it anymore. Like I there's people that are like, nah, I hate that series now. They burned me, and then and then the next game comes out. It's like, oh, it looks so good. You're like, nah. I'm burned. I'm done with it. It's just not like I love Battlefield, but yeah, that was just too much for me.
It would need to be
all hail BattleBit.
All hail BattleBit. Yes,
we've talked about it too much.
The BattleBit, Giga Chad mindset. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, so we'll see what I can understand the point as well, because it also is less of a tech cost as well. So making a game run on a console is already difficult enough when it needs to be pretty and it needs to be all of this stuff, right? But now you've got to balance it between not only running on PC and all the different graphics cards and CPU combinations out there, you've also got to get it running on Xbox. You've got to get it running on Series S and X or whatever the ones are. Then you've got to get it running on PS4 and PS5 if you do release those. You make and I don't know how much work is involved in that, but I'm guessing there is still some level of work because the way different engines interact with everything. But if you could cut out half of the things that you needed to test on by just releasing it on a single set of consoles, then it would definitely shore up development time.
I'm sure we've pissed off a few people by what's the word? Backing exclusivity at the moment. I'm sure that'll make for an interesting conversation in the comment section for sure.
Yeah, and it's usually coming from people who are like, yes, games need to be accessible for as many people as possible, and I agree with you, but also that means you can't, sometimes you just can't have everything. Life isn't fair. Fuck you.
Yep, that's a good shout. But mind you, we're talking about this as though this is going to happen.
True, exactly.
Yeah, because, and I'm going to segue here. This Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition might not happen at all. Full stop.
Yep.
There's
them lawsuits, them legals getting involved.
Yeah, there's a lot of legals getting involved over competition concerns by the sounds of things about, the Federal Fair Trade Commission is likely to file an antitrust lawsuit to block Microsoft's $69 billion nice takeover of video game of Activision Blizzard, which is massive, absolutely massive.
I do like, that's a massive number, but I do like that the first paragraph of the article is maker of the hit games Call of Duty and Candy Crush, just like two opposite ends of the spectrum.
I hated it so much. I saw that too, and I was like, nah, dude, come on now.
I mean, Candy Crush is big, don't get me wrong, it's just they're the two that you wanted to put down the most household names, I guess, because the site that reported it on, it wasn't a games site originally, it was Politico, which was a politics website. So it's a little bit different there, but it does go into a bunch of different stuff regarding the challenges in terms of, what was it, monopoly, like a monopoly of too many game companies in the space, not enough competition.
Yeah.
But it also was affected by the stock trading price. So that $69 billion is like the price of all of the shares to gain a controlling stock like hold of the company. Which apparently meant it was like $95 a share. And as of when I was looking at it from when Jason Schreier tweeted out about it on the 24th, it was down to $73 a share. So the valuation has dramatically changed. Based on what originally was set.
Yeah, wow. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces to this one. Yeah. And like, as we were saying, monopoly in the gaming market, exclusivity, stuff like that. Is it such a good thing? I don't know. Like, I've always understood the healthy practices of competition, and and I'm not talking about like game competition or like, sport, like commercial competition is a great thing. It keeps companies innovative. It ensures that they're trying to beat each other through innovative causes.
It is different though that when we're looking at exclusivity is good, but not with companies. Companies bad exclusive.
Yeah, I know. It's a tough one, isn't it? It really is. Like it's a weird middle ground to walk down. Yeah, no, it's an interesting rabbit hole we're on with this one.
Yeah, so it may not go through, and with these things, they don't end in like 2 weeks.
No.
As we've seen with the whole Twitter debacle, and elongated Muskrat doing his thing. But it is interesting to go through because it wasn't like a confirmed source. It was like people with knowledge on the matter, kind of whistleblowing or leaking or whatever, talking to journalists about the matter and stuff like that as well. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And there's probably just a lot of people jumping up and down about it for no reason at the moment. But
yeah,
interesting, I guess. You never know.
The final document, or the final paragraph here reads that the companies have until July next year to close the deal without renegotiating the agreement. An administrative lawsuit filed later this year or in January would be unlikely to resolve by July and would mean that the companies may be forced to abandon the deal entirely, which I can only imagine would only result in a lawsuit and retaliation for loss of revenue or something like that for damages. It'd be an interesting one to see.
Yeah. When you get to this level, like $69 billion, my brain just kind of goes, that's just monopoly money. Like, I just don't,
Yeah, no.
I can't fathom like that amount of money.
I would never be able to spend that much in my lifetime. I wouldn't even know how to start. Like,
no.
At that point, you're just buying condos for the sake of buying fucking condos.
I'm gonna buy a city.
which condo am I going to live in tonight? Okay. And then you got to have the exact same furniture setting in each condo to make sure it feels like home. And you buy, bougie furniture because, you're a billionaire. I don't even know where you'd start with 69 billion, sorry.
Billion. That's 69,000 millions, right? No, that's 6.9. 690,000 millions or something. Many millions.
No human being in this world should have that much money. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, hiring people. Because, I can understand like having a level of money, because what usually happens with that is that you remove time constraints. You basically swap time for money, and that's the whole saying of time is money, because if you have money, you can just pay for someone to do the thing. Like you could pay to someone to get your groceries, and then you don't have to go grocery shopping anymore. So it leaves another hour in your day where you'd have to talk to people, or I have to cook food. I'll pay someone to just bring me food with Uber Eats, or something. And that's just a small time, but obviously it someone to do your taxes or whatever. I don't know, something boring.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I realized I was getting old the other day when I was chatting with mates. Like we're at a bar and we're sitting there and we're chatting. And we're talking about housing prices and inflation, right? It just ended on the topic randomly, and I was sitting there in the bar and I was drinking there talking about, the GFC kind of affected a lot of other countries, but Australia wasn't really affected too much because of the way that we did the spending bonus and stuff. And I was like, guys, we're old. And they're like, I was like, what? I was like, we're old. we're turning 30, and some of my mates past 30. It was like we're talking about inflation and house prices at a bar. Remember when we used to talk about titties and video games? Like it was a simpler time.
You remember? Hey, bro, you see the new Mountain Dew flavor that came out? Like, holy shit! Yeah, titties in video games was once the topic of conversation, and now it's the market's fucked.
The market's fucked. We're all gonna go homeless in 5 years, and god, inflation.
Terrifying stuff. Terrifying stuff.
It was a good realization to have. Yeah. Then we started drinking more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that helped the situation, didn't it?
Oh, of course.
Speaking of taking time out of your day and getting time back, our friends over at EB Games have come up with something a little bit new and fun.
He's on it today.
Oh, mate, I do my best, don't I? So for the Black Friday sales this year in Australia, and I'm not sure if this was like a worldwide thing because I know EB Games operates in other worlds, or it's like GameStop or something like that. Yeah,
no, no, you're right. No, GameStop, not GameSpot. GameSpot's the website. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I always get the two confused. But apparently, a special limited time offer. EB Games was offering free same-day delivery with Uber for Black Friday for 500 Black Friday products.
Yep,
which is just wild to me. The last thing we need to do is encourage gamers to do less time outside.
At least they could walk to the video game store and actually buy the video game.
Exactly.
Now you don't have to do that.
But that's the weirdest part to me about this, right? Okay, so if you want to buy a video game that badly and you don't want to go to the video game store, what do?
You just
jump
download
online
it
and buy it. Yeah, you just download it.
Yeah.
So what we're doing now is enabling the physical collectors the opportunity to get the experience of downloading. No, because by the time it arrives at your door, you've got to put the disc in and then start downloading it.
Yeah.
Which means you've got no benefit except for the physical copy, which I understand. There's physical collectors.
Yeah.
But it's just such a weird, like, I don't know why you would do this.
I have no idea. It would be interesting to see how many people did that.
Yeah, and obviously Uber has to take a cut, right? Like Uber's got their service fees. Which to me just makes it sound like this is more DLC that you've got to pay to get your game.
Yeah, did you want the free DLC for delivery? No, it's not free, motherfucker. It's $27, and someone will come to your door, maybe plus kind
mileage.
Of, if they don't take it themselves, because a video game is a lot more expensive than a cheeseburger and chips. All right.
I've worked out the life hack. I've worked out the life hack here. Sign up to Uber for a day on Black Friday, work for EB Games, then just get when someone orders a PS5, just ditch the app, fuck off with the PS5.
Could you imagine? Man.
Just ditch the app, take the PS5. I'm not going to do... look, do as I say, not as I do. Don't do this.
Doing this in-game, okay? I'll set up a simulator for it, all right? But...
dodgy Uber simulator, please make that a thing.
I mean, I've had people just pinch food before on Uber. Like, they were 5 minutes down the road doing another delivery, and I was like, okay, I'll wander on out. Because I'm one of those people that meets them at the curb. There's two types of people. There's the people with Uber drivers or delivery or whatever that meet them at the curb, or because I live in a complex, so I kind of have to. And then the other people are the ones that just sit inside with the lights off and just wait for them to come to them and don't even check the app. And they just sit there.
Yeah.
There's two types of people.
Yep. I've done it where I've had them come to the door, but I've met them at the door as opposed to letting them wait there and be confused, because I'm in pajamas. The street doesn't need to see that. Okay. Yeah. But,
there's another moon there. Oh, God. Oh, wait, no, it's Cami,
yeah. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly. And me and my pale ass walking out the door. But yeah, this is weird to me, and it to me it fills a market gap that just simply does not exist.
It's got to be the thing that they're trying to just close the gap to digital, because that's been an ongoing battle for, I would say, nigh on a decade almost.
True, yeah. And maybe you're right. Obviously, maybe they've got the deals that the PlayStation Store doesn't have, and they're like, "Cool, we'll give you free delivery on that day." But you are right. it feels like a sort of a desperate attempt to sort of grasp at the concept of, making sure, like being offering the service that, you can get the game without having to go to the store, but you also don't want to buy it and download it later. I mean, I sometimes, I actually, no, I actually more often than not will go into a physical store because, I like having the physical collection, and quite frankly, I could use the time outside.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I understand
Yeah,
that.
keeps me sane. But yeah, like if you're not going to the store and you're not downloading it online, to me, this seems like an even more time costly endeavor. And I mean, maybe you're a physical collector that can't actually leave the house for medical reasons. That's fair enough.
Yeah, but we're not talking about you. So
No.
no, it was interesting though, because obviously like God of War and stuff, I'm pretty sure like the latest one to come out, which apparently is a really good game, was
I'm playing it right now.
Yeah, it was just a download code on a physical copy. Like it was no disc.
Sir.
It was just meh. So what
And
are
it
you
was
going
80
to the
and it was-
store for?
Yeah, and it was like 80 gigs plus, which okay, if you're in any other first world country that's not Australia, congratulations, you downloaded in a day. For us, that's not true.
Well, I got the game. So what you'd have to do in this case, so this case specifically, you bought it on Black
Here we go.
Friday. You get someone to get it from Uber, deliver it from the video store to your house. Then once you finally get it, you don't just get to put the disc in and play. That's assuming that it arrives. Then you have to download it with the code that you got in the game case.
Yep. And I've just thought of something too. So Uber, as we know, will often compact deliveries into one driver to save time and to, So obviously with food,
yeah,
you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I see where you go with this. Yeah.
with food, there's a limitation on how much you can deliver in one go, because food goes cold, it goes bad. If it's refrigerated, you're fucked. If it's more than 2 deliveries, you may as well just cancel the order.
Yeah.
But if it's games, there's no time-sensitive nature about that. Dickhead McGee's going to have boxes of games in the back of his car, just doing laps of your city. And if you're in a major city, good luck. You're not getting it. You're not getting it till 12 hours later.
Yep.
I can only imagine that there's just one guy just sitting there accepting all the friggin' orders, like yes.
Just blocking out. Yeah, I've got Tim and Cami and Kochiefy's order and Frank and Phil and and he just walks out with this massive stack of games to deliver for Uber.
He just sells out the store in one delivery. Like they said, like they've got 500 items. A homeboy walked out with the shop and just like
he got the 500 and he delivered them all over
Western Sydney. Which,
Sydney.
Jesus, yeah. But anyway,
yeah,
it's
really tricky, right? Like I know that it's tough for them to compete, and they've got it's why they're expanding out into things that you can't really get digitally, because you want to have a t-shirt or a plushie or a collector's edition, and Zing and all that stuff. With all the collector's stuff now, you can't really get that stuff online, but you can, but like shipping and and
it's good to see it in person before you buy a physical item like that. At least for me.
But I think that's probably why a lot of those kind of stores are just it's making it trickier and trickier for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, agreed.
Because like other big chains like Big W and Kmart and stuff, they always sell like the really cheap price. Like they're the cheap ones, so you get it for 69 or whatever it is, sometimes 59. And then you try and price match at EB, because when you go and talk to the Big W people, they're like, well, we don't make money on it. We don't care. It's to get you into the store to buy the other things that we make, so that you don't just buy
Yep. It's similar to the the whole console selling thing. You buy the console, then we make money on the games that you buy through us, stuff like that.
Yeah. And all
sometimes
the Instagram posts and the social media stuff and all of that to show it for everybody, get them into the store. Because there was there's like tangent, but did you know that there's like Kmart and Big W style influencers? Like they go in and look at the new Anko product and they show it off about how awesome it is, and they put that on their social media, and I'm like, If there's a market for it, I guess.
We're on the wrong timeline. That's all I'll say. We're on the wrong fucking timeline, dude. Ah,
The darkest timeline.
somewhere a variant has kicked in, has thrown everything off, and I'm ready to hit the rewind button and go back a few years, dude. We need to fix something. I need
Redo.
to go kill that fly that landed on me once upon a time and change the course of history, because this
Yep.
is Anko in.
Yeah, just
Sorry,
anything new, like some new Breville coffee machine or whatever. It's in Kmart as the new stocked big ticket item. And
Hi
so
guys,
those
it's me.
people, yeah.
Today we're going to be reviewing the new Anko laundry basket.
Doing my laundry.
Get the B-roll of them walking out the shop with it.
Yeah. Oh, it was such a good purchase. The staff at this place was so nice. And yeah, things like TikTok and stuff. Yeah.
As you can see, it's made from a high-quality plastic this time, which means it won't fall apart on you in 6 months, 9 months instead. Get the shot of the Kmart employee just looking like absolute death.
Like, why are you doing this? The 12 takes. It should not have taken you 12 takes to do this.
The door guy just looking like he wants to end it all right there. Like, you know, we all know the look.
Yeah, because he's sitting there, especially nowadays, because he's got Mariah Carey blasting and on the side of him 12 times in a row.
It ticks over December 1st, like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Fuck, I quit. I'm done.
Yeah, I quit, yeah.
All I want for Christmas is a bullet. Anyway.
Oh, no.
My condolences to any retail workers over the Christmas period. You're the real heroes.
I've been there. I'm sure we could go into a conversation about previous retail horror stories, because I've got some.
I bet. The reason for the tangent, though, I guess, yeah, it was just wild.
Yeah.
Social media, wild. But now there's all this other stuff that's popping up nowadays because of Twitter's ongoing debacle is probably the best way, kerfuffle so far. Now there's too much going on at the moment on Twitter, and the wonderful Elon Muskrat being the absolute twat genius thing that he is, is showing off his genius by doing a thing and then realizing that there's a reason why something that happened, and then and then reversing
why
it,
the thing was there. Yeah, exactly.
Which was really great, and doing that a bunch of different times, which I thought was very good.
Give a man-child $44 billion and watch what he does with it, and watch him burn down a company. It's you know, it's I want to say it's fun to watch, but it's really not. So, you know.
No, but it has spawned on a lot of different social medias that have kind of popped up.
Yeah.
I guess recently. So we've had a bunch of different ones. We had Mastodon, which has been, I mean, some of these have been around for a while, but people started to look at them as we moved on with Twitter, because Twitter fired a bunch of people, and then a week later went and said, oh, look, we fired half the staff and everything's working fine. And I had a mini fit inside my own head, because that's not how that works.
Yeah, exactly. We all know that if you fire half a company and you complain that the capacity of the company goes down, it's not how it works, my guy.
I was saying, it's like firing. It's like saying when everything's working and then blaming the IT guys that why are we hiring you, because everything's working now. And so like they'll go away and then they take their knowledge with them. So when shit goes wrong, which it will, the people who had all the knowledge are now gone and there's no way to fix it. Like,
no corporate knowledge. Yep, exactly.
And then the people that are still there get blamed for not being able to fix it when they're not the ones that pisses me off.
Screaming internally. Exactly right. Yeah.
We've got Mastodon, which is like a socially media kind of decentralized thing, which I tried to sign up for, and that was really confusing and stupid. Where you have to, one, you can be imitated by anybody, like you can just have the same names as other people. But then it's all about which social media network you joined to create your account, and things like that, which was dumb. But people can make different ones, which is really interesting. But the whole point is, for a username is you want it to be quick and succinct and recognizable and rememberable.
And yours.
And mine, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Exactly,
We don't need
yeah.
27 Kochiefys out there. I'm enough for the internet, okay?
That's it, exactly.
But you've got, oh yes, I'm at Kochiefy / at mastodon.social, and that's not a website, that's like my account name. So if you wanted to tag someone in it, because I created my account on the Mastodon social hub, which is not decentralized, but it is still controlled by a governing body of people, but they're all over the places in different hubs. So it kind of like, it's not like Discord, because I don't want to compare them, but it's like, I created my Discord account on my Koshi Corner Discord, and so I would be Kochiefy at the Koshi Corner. You have to find me that way. And then if I wanted to close my Discord at any point, I could just be like, bah, and then I guess accounts would have problems. I don't know.
Jesus, yeah, that's terrifyingly shocking. That's a horrible system. Yeah, right. Okay. Interesting. I mean, this goes back to, conversations I've had previously about, with the whole, like, again, we talked about this with the GamerNetworkCo and with Twitch and, changing culture and changing people's routines on the daily basis. What a lot of these social media platforms don't understand is that, yes, there is a market for these new platforms to exist, but as soon as you try to change the cultural behavior of a person to the point where they, instead of typing in twitter.com after a day of work or installing the Twitter app on their phone, if you're trying to make it so that you change that culture to not only impact one person's ability to now move to, say, Hive, Mastodon, co-host, stuff like that, if you're trying to change that not just for one person but for literally millions of people, you've got a Herculean task on your hand, and I've not seen one single social media platform in any realm, if you will, do it successfully, without offering some kind. You can't just be Twitter but purple. You can't just be Twitter but yellow. You've got to be new, and you've got to offer something that is entirely unique to your platform. It's why Instagram is successful. It's why Facebook was successful. It's why Twitter was successful. It's why YouTube, Twitch, all of those platforms are successful, because they offer, a unique service, a unique thing, and they become the cultural norm for those services. You're not going to dethrone Twitter just because people are angry at Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, anger does not equal action all the time, and it also definitely does not equal you uprooting years of experience on a platform to go. Like, let's remember, humans by nature are very routine beings. Like, we like comfort, we like, certain things, and when we find some,
just simplicity.
Yeah, we like simplicity, and as soon as you throw a simple solution to a problem out there, we're going to cling to it like it's nothing else.
Yeah,
like,
that's why I think Hive has probably been the closest to actually doing something. They did have like an influx of over 1 million users to their platform, which, again, I think Twitter had like 243 million users in the last month. So but it's still interesting to see it, because that's what people wanted. They don't want some weird social platform that tries to challenge boundaries. Sometimes they want something that there's recognizable and is easy to use.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's difficult to do that and also be new and smart, I guess, about it.
Yeah, and presents enough of a pitch to want to change out from your product.
Yeah, but there is this whole thing about the community behind it and things like that as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just dual post on everything. People are tired. People have been through too much social media as it is, and it's like, let's add another app to the 7 apps you got to add all of your posts to. Like, okay, now do your Twitter for your text updates, do YouTube Shorts for little clips, then also cross-post those to TikTok. If you're using Instagram for any photos or any day-to-day stuff in the life of area, you've got to post it to there. And now you've got to add another one to copy across. Well, Hive is kind of like Twitter plus Instagram, so you kind of want to bring both of those feeds in to make sure that you're posting both of those in the same location. It hurts.
That's it, exactly. Like, it's just frustrating as hell. And then, you got long form content, YouTube, right again. And then live stream content straight away. Like, yeah, it's just a mess. So yeah, adding more and more, and it's another account you got to remember the details for.
Yeah.
You know, like I bought a new phone recently, so I had to go through the hoops of literally moving everything across
Mm-hmm.
and logging into everything again. I've changed my passwords about 5 times since then.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense. Yep.
yeah, exactly. I'm a dickhead. I don't remember my passwords. So yeah,
No.
it's just frustrating as hell. So um, makes for a very interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to see all these social media platforms coming into play. Again, I keep saying this over and over again. Prove me wrong. Bring us something that's exciting. Bring us something that will stick, and bring us something that answers a problem that we have as not just a community, but as just the human race.
Yeah.
Like solve a problem, and then you'll have my attention.
Easy. The metaverse is totally doing this. What are you talking about?
My bad. Sorry. No. Sorry.
The final frontier is here.
Yeah.
And it's actually VR chat. Sorry.
Yeah. If VR chat is the height of human, the height of human innovation, I'm out. I'm just gonna go find. Actually, my balcony's right there. I'm just gonna go dive off it face first. I've got a road right under me. It'll be quick.
It'll be a good. You had a good run.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
well, it is interesting though, the fact that you've got to create. When you were saying, I think before we started the podcast, about when we're going through this stuff about creating content on multiple platforms, and like you've got to do it in a specific way. You have to target your content for that platform. You can't make long form content on TikTok. No one gives a shit. You can put pictures on Twitter and it will kind of get engagement, but it won't get the engagement of Instagram because Instagram is the image platform. It's content.
Exactly.
It's just tricky.
It's so tricky, and the more you try to diversify, and the more you try to, because you see a lot of people like, I'm going to diversify, I'm going to cross feed all of my platforms, and you just see them doing the exact same thing across every platform. It's like, no, bro, this is not how you do it. Like, this is not cross-platform stuff. This is you being fucking lazy and going for the shotgun approach of as many eyes on me as possible. Maybe I'll get a subscriber or a viewer or whatever.
You got to adapt the content to the thing, which is more work.
It is more work. It is, and here's the thing. All right, hot take time number 2.
Number 2.
The majority of content creators, especially in our gaming space, are too lazy to be content creators, and they don't want to be content creators. They want to play games 7 days a week and make money for it.
So do I.
So do I. Fucking oath. I sit right there doing the same thing. I'm right there with you. But I want to posit that sitting on your ass playing games with a webcam on you for 7 days a week is not content.
No, it's not.
No, and I think, and I know we're going to cop flack for that one.
Well, I mean, it does spark that discussion, and we have seen discussions online the last. I mean, there's always a discussion, but the last couple of weeks, someone, some notorious figure or someone who's got a following makes it, and they make YouTube content primarily, and they say that streaming isn't content creation.
I think I know. I don't know if you saw it from the same source, but I saw it from Sam Woodhall.
So did I.
This was okay. Yep, Sam Woodhall. Yep. Which
he was just mostly opening a discussion with his own opinion. And then people kind of got really heated, not for the fact that they were questioning what is content, quote unquote, but they were being defensive that he thinks that they're not content creators. And then it just got shit because it's Twitter, and Twitter's the worst, right? Yeah. So instead of just, he made the mistake of trying to have an intellectual discussion on Twitter of, that never happens.
Yeah, no, especially now more than ever. But anyway, yeah, but it is, as you say, it is an interesting debate because, yeah, like it brings up the conversation of what is content. Like when does something become content? And it's a tough line to find, right? Because content creators, let's be 100% honest with ourselves here. The majority of content creators that are out there, or the successful content, I'm going to say that the successful content creators out there, the ones that are, I'm going to define success as ones that are making a living off of it, right? The ones that made it, the ones that are doing it full time, the ones that are chasing their passions and are actually seeing results from it. I guarantee you that every single content creator in that space is always thinking about what they could turn something into, or what angle is this content going to take? How is it going to drive engagement from a viewer perspective, right? Whereas the majority of live streamers that are out there are hitting the go live, and I'm guilty of this too. I'm very much guilty of this.
Yeah.
I hit the go live button, and I sit there and I play games for 4 hours.
Yep.
There's no hook to say this is why you should come check me out. It's just Joe Schmo white dude playing games.
Yep.
It's the same thing you've seen over and over again. Except it's worse than the likes of Shroud. It's worse than the likes of, Dr. Disrespect as far as actual gameplay performance is concerned.
Yep.
But Dr. Disrespect, once again, he has an angle. He has a character.
He has a character that he's putting on. That's the content that he's bringing.
Exactly. And his production quality on his stream is second to none. It is amazing. Like, he's got 3D scene renders that tell a story about how his stream is going. Like or hate the guy, he is a content creator.
Yeah.
I will go onto Twitch right now and I will see maybe 2 content creators.
Yeah, because it is interesting. I mentioned before, it's like, well, if I take a shit, is that content? Like, am I making content? And if people, and my friends would probably go, yes, you make content every couple of weeks when you release a review video, it's shit. And I'm like, thanks, mate. And I get that. And it is shit. There are people doing way better stuff out there. So it's a sliding scale. And I guess that's the thing is, if you finish your stream or whatever, and you think that you do a content, then fine.
Yeah.
That's on you. But there's a lot of people out there, I guess, that they think of a stream as not that primary source. Like, they're doing other things, and then they're not using their stream to make content. They're using their stream to connect with their audience.
Exactly.
Like, there's a difference there.
Yeah. And I can argue that, depending on the topic of the stream to connect with your audience, that can be content too. Like a Q&A, for example, or a playing with viewers can be content, depending on how you angle it, I think. But yeah, like, I think majority of content creators that are out there that do live streaming, they sort of go with the perspective. They go into the perspective of, okay, how can I get clips for this? Or how can I turn this into more brandable content? Stuff like that. Just you playing the game is just you showing.
Well, it comes down to a plan. I think maybe that's where it comes down to.
Maybe it comes down to the mentality, the plan. Yeah, I think that is a good point. I think I agree with that.
Yeah. Like, anyone can click a button. I guess if you're, and then it's like, well, someone would go, oh, well, my plan is to press a button and play video games for 5 hours. And you're like,
but then your content doesn't, but no, okay, here's another argument. Here we go. Yep. Okay. Here's an argument I'll make for live streaming content and for defining whether or not a stream becomes content or not. If you hit the go live button, finish your stream, and then end that stream and put it up publicly, what's the chance of somebody clicking through and watching it?
Yeah. Well, we have had that discussion about who watches VODs.
Exactly. But so Twitch VODs are normally pretty fucking minimal. There's no thumbnails. There's no, the titles are there, but often the titles are just your your stream title there, stuff like that. But if you're talking, so say like a stream on YouTube, for example, right? If I was to post a stream where we built a tier list, that becomes content.
Yeah.
Because it's likely for somebody to click through it with the right thumbnail and maybe even
you can snap it down to the highlights of those discussion points.
Correct. Exactly. One of my arguments will be alongside, the plan and stuff like that. Is this something that's brandable and reachable to an audience that would make them want to click on the stream later on?
Yeah.
And because I guarantee you, there's not a single person on this. This is why highlight channels do so badly.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit that you're playing a video game and some random funny moment happens. Unless you're already well adapted. Like the funny moments channels that do stream, like Wildcat, stuff like that.
Yeah.
they have a plan. They all have
they're not
characters, but-
streaming unless like they do have videos, but they're secondary and they have way less views than, hey, I'm recording with these guys for the next 2 hours off stream completely. This is my content creation time.
Yep,
And then
exactly.
regardless of what happens behind it, they chuck it at an editor or they edit it themselves or whatever. That's the plan to make the content.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, is that there is a plan involved to create that.
Yeah, if one of them's not feeling up to making the content, they don't show up, or they just sit there muted or something. But they don't, like, there's no situation where they're not being their funny, wacky, goofy selves because they're making content. They have that plan. You know, whenever I stream, I do my best to, you know, bring up a character. And again, as I said, I'm not the best, you know, person for defending this point. I do a lot of pointless gameplay streams from time to time.
There's a difference
But if
though.
you
Like, you know that what you're doing with that content is you're connecting with your audience, and you're doing that. It's not something you're going to use in future.
No, I enlist all my streams.
Yeah. Or now
with the
it's like
exception
YouTube's
of
got the extra tab now, so you don't have to do that. Like, it's on the.
No, I am tempted, but I'm not sure how that would, you know, impact the algorithm and stuff like that. It's, you know, it's a fun game to play, but like, you know, if a new update hits a game, if you do a stream around that update, reviewing the update, and then you're going to use that to create long form content as well, then I'd say that's content creation because that goes in with a plan. You have an intent.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
so it is
on that recently, it's like, well, Path of Exile's got its new thing, like new league coming out next weekend. So the live stream happened on Friday, and all the streamers were there to react to the channel. And this is probably where React channels are kind of shit. But you know, like, I'm just gonna watch Gordon Ramsay and just like react, and I'm making content. Fuck you. And it's like, well, yeah, I guess it's just shit content. Anyway, when you're doing it for a game and you have a discussion point, it's a bit different.
Yeah, that's just our subjection of, you know, what shit content is. Like, there's a reason React channels do so well. I think to go on a slight tangent here, I think why we think React content is shit is because we don't care about other people's opinions about the stuff we like. Whereas there's a lot of people out there who will watch React content to see somebody that they don't know watch something that they like for the first time, and they want to get that validation that what they like is cool. Like, you know, I think that might be a reason to it.
No, I understand that. I guess that happens on review videos and stuff like that as well. There is a bunch of people that watch a review video of something. Doesn't need to be a game, just anything. I did it myself. I was looking at this. I just got a stand-up desk. Obviously, you can't see it, but I just got a stand-up desk frame. So I went on YouTube and I went, okay, I want to find out if this is the desk that suits me, and is it okay to build and things like that. Everyone does it. The other flip side of it is they've already bought thing. They have used said thing, let's say played a video game or watched a movie or listened to an album or used the new Breville system from Anko from Kmart, you know.
You segued it in again, you bastard.
Kmart influencers, it's the next thing, I swear.
Let's go!
Let's go! But then they'll have an opinion on it, and then they'll go to YouTube or TikTok or whatever, and they will try to reaffirm that opinion of themselves to make sure that they're listening, that they're not wrong, essentially. Or if someone is wrong, then it diversifies again, because it's like, well, are they wrong because they articulated their point correctly and I've got something to think about, or are they wrong because they disagreed with me and fuck them, they need to die, you know? Like, there's two different ones there.
Exactly, and it's it loops us back to this bitch of a question about, you know, when does it become content? I don't, like, we've got a dot point here saying like scripting for videos for content, or like, you know, do you have to script something for it to be content? I don't necessarily agree that you have to.
No,
like, I script my things, and I think you do too.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know plenty of content creators that go completely ad hoc, and they're great. So, you know,
I don't know how they do it. They just have a ramble with a camera for 20 minutes and they just cut out the silence. And I'm like, how do you do that?
It's coherent too. That's the it's not like it's not like a rambling point from a drunken man on the side of the street. Like, these people who do ad hoc videos, they get a point across, and it is engaging. Like, I don't know how I would never be able to dream of doing such a thing.
At least we're doing it here. We've got a script, I guess. It's just a list of things that we want to talk about, and then we're bouncing off each other. And that's, you know, the podcast. It's different. Like, there's a plan here. But yeah, the people who are like, yeah, I'm going to talk about this topic for 25 minutes, and I don't have really a plan. I just have I'm just gonna
Just go into
ramble,
it.
and hopefully
Exactly.
it works out. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I have a mad level of respect for those people because it's a very impressive form of content, I think. To be able to captivate somebody ad hoc and those are often the people that are the best streamers too, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. The people who can do, which explains a lot about my streaming career. But
I am a boring human being. That's why I write
yeah,
myself to be funny. Yeah.
yes, sir. Curate it through edits and edits and edits. But no, yeah, no, it's an interesting conversation, and I'm sure we will hear a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Angst from certain people. Maybe this is our viral episode because
Yeah, of
we
course.
go, yeah,
That's the thing. It's like if you're doing the content that you're happy with, it doesn't matter. Like
no,
whatever it is, you don't fucking. My opinion doesn't matter. It's just that it's right, but it's redundant. It doesn't matter. If you're doing the content, I'm not trying to attack you. But that's just the way that I see things. And if I'm looking at the content I want to watch, I'm not watching someone else's VOD. Like I don't see that level that I see streaming as like that, as I said, like that connection to an audience or a connection and talking about stuff. Because once that,
exactly.
I don't know, like once that stream finishes, if you're the streamer, you're like, that was a really good stream. And you're like, cool. And if someone was watching, it was like, yeah, that was a good stream. I had some fun times. And then you forget about it and then you go off and do something else. And it's like, well, I don't know, does the content linger in the brain, or is it the difference there? I'm not really sure.
You might have had a funny moment, or like again, there's certain times where a generic stream can turn into content. You know, maybe I think another action point for content creation too, and for turning something that isn't necessarily content into content, is that action of actually turning it into content, right? Like it doesn't like a clip is content, sure, but it helps to turn it into something beyond that, right? To take it and because we know clips on Twitch in particular, and especially YouTube as well, they're not very browsable.
No, the reason that people will watch them is because it gets posted on Reddit, or it blows up somewhere else on social media,
Discord,
or
Twitter, exactly.
and stuff like that. It's like, well, hang on. What point is it? Is it the clip that it's the content, or is it the stream that it's the content?
Exactly.
It gets really shitty.
Did you create the content because somebody else clipped it?
Yeah, are you creating that content, or is it because I clipped it really well? I technically made it on your content. Yeah,
and I was incidentally there, and you were streaming, and something happened accidentally during. Oh, this is a rabbit hole, isn't it?
Whose content is it? Like you're the streamer, but I'm the one that clipped it, right? So is it technically my content now because I'm the one that clipped it? Like it has my name clipped by Kochiefy on the stream. Like where it is.
True.
So
it gives you the credit. Oh,
yes, that's a rabbit hole. Yeah.
Oh shit, we can dive into that for hours, and then you start talking copyright and stuff like that. It's like who owns the clip, which I think it's always going to fall into the streamer owning the clip.
Yeah, it's their face and their likeness and stuff like that. But if they don't have their face on their voice,
Yep.
But there is an art, I get, not an art, that's bad, that's a bad word to use, but there is a real difference between someone who can clip really well and someone who can't, and it bugs me a lot when they don't do it well, and just taking that extra because they want to be first, right? There's like, oh, can someone clip that? And if there's a big enough streamer, there'll be 12,000 clips, and one of them will be either the first, and then the other one that's clipped really well, but it's slower, right?
I just want to point out this is such a first world streamer problem from us.
Could you imagine explaining this to someone from the Middle Ages? Like,
be like, huh? What the fuck are you talking about?
What are you on about?
Not only is this a first world problem, but it's a first world streamer problem. Oh yeah, dude, I hate it when clips are bad. It's like, bro, what the fuck?
You could have just put it like 0.5 of a second longer, and it would have had the rest of my laugh, but it only got half of my laugh, and then cut it off, and it just didn't have the full moment. Really now I've got to do it myself to then add it to my highlight video.
Yeah, exactly. I edited my highlight video that I'm going to send off to my editor to edit for me. Oh God,
it's just.
But
yeah,
it's the whole conversation around content versus when does it become it? Like, I stand by my opinion that 99% of the people in the Twitch directory are not creating content. I'm sorry if that offends you, but fuck you. This is my redundant opinion.
Yeah. That's the point.
Like, when you are playing a game recreationally and talking to the odd person that comes into your chat.
Mm.
And I say this due to the fact that there's like, only 90%, less than 10% of Twitch, user bases are affiliates, something like that, like some crazy stat. The majority of people are talking to the random person that trums into their chat every once in a while, and the rest of the time they're like staring at their screen blank faced with a bunch of Cheetos down their front.
Oh, you've seen my streams? Oh, cool. Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
I got you, boo.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is a
But
good
no.
stat to bring up as well. Like, obviously, there's people in there that are not affiliates, but just starting their streaming journey, and those people are creating awesome content in their mind, and they're going to make it up to affiliate eventually, right? So those people, you're going to talk about those, but those people who are like on follow for follow groups, and they're so insecure about their own stream, that they need to get other people, force other people in, and it's just like, well, are you really, to me anyway, are you really creating content?
No,
I would argue no, you're streaming.
No, I would argue the same, and I think it's worth pointing out as well that streaming does not equal creating content. We've discussed that. And if you're coming at us, and I will say this as well, if you're somebody who is watching this, listening to this, and you're becoming just so unbridled with rage over this point, and you're just steaming at the ears, and you're ready to fucking just come and drive into my house and knock me out with a baseball bat, I challenge you to think like critically about the I'm not going to say content, the thing you're putting out there into the world. Think critically of it. Think whether or not it has an objective that isn't so thinly veiled as, oh, I want to entertain people, or I want to stream and make money. If those are your objectives, I'm sorry, you're not creating content. If I invite my mates over for a few beers and I'm entertaining, I'm not creating content.
Yeah, but if there's a camera in the corner, is it technically content?
Not if I'm talking random shit, no.
That's I'm just having over for a few beers. I mean, that's a good point actually. It's like, as I was saying, if I take a shit, is that content? Or if I put a camera into my room and take a shit, am I taking content? Because technically I had a plan there. I put a camera in my room to film myself taking a shit.
Exactly. Exactly.
When does it become content? Yeah.
Another tangent of this could be content is when you're presenting something.
Like a presentation. Look at my PowerPoint up. Is that technically content?
Well, you had to make it.
Yeah, there's a plan involved with it. Is that real? I think that's just that real question around the live versus the VOD style content. Like, that's why, Let's Play channels originally, like, they came in with a plan to finish this game. So it's episode 1, 2, 3, whatever of that game, but it's a plan that they wanted to finish that game and record it.
Hang on a second. Let's Plays. Shit.
And you're like, Let's Plays is like this weird thing where that's pretty much where content almost, some of them anyway, they started.
And Let's Plays is essentially like episodic streams.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
Challenge that dynamic a little bit.
Oh shit. That's a good point. It challenges our perspective.
Yeah, because if someone starts to stream and then goes, well, my plan is to finish this game on stream.
So, okay. Another hot one for you.
Is that too thinly veiled for you?
No. I've heard thought, right? So with Let's Plays, obviously the content is less so about the game and more so about the person, right? Because you're watching the person. I think most Let's Players, they capitalize on their personality, right? Am I right in saying that? Because there'll be a shit ton of Let's Players out there. So a viewer may want to watch a Let's Play of a game, but they'll go to a Let's Player in particular for that Let's Play of the game.
Yes.
It's not necessarily to see their reaction for the game per se. It's more about how they, I guess it is the reaction, but how they deal with the game's challenges, how they react to things, stuff like that.
Yep.
So if you're doing Let's Play content and it feels like you're not creating content around it, like it's not successful content, does that just mean you're shit, like you don't have like a good personality for Let's Play content?
And that's the thing. It's like, okay, like, is it you need to have a niche to create content? And obviously that's the goal.
Yeah,
But people's niches
yeah,
sometimes don't get created until they find it. And some of them, like brands and
yep,
communities, they happen accidentally.
yeah, huh?
A lot of the stuff that I've done in the past, I just saw something randomly, and like my logo, my current logo is I
Yeah.
saw I was growing my beard and I got some beard oil, and I went and found a L'Oreal fucking thing that had a face with a beard on it, and I was like, that could be a pretty cool logo. And then I slapped some glasses on it and went, cheers. Like, and it just
Cheers,
happens
happy days.
accidentally. It's
Yeah.
like, well, is that content? It's like, well, I don't. It's so
Well, but
difficult.
and with Let's Players too, the content, sure, like, and I think it's a bit different as well with games that are sandbox in nature, right? Because
Mm,
with like games like Minecraft, if you're Let's Playing a mod pack, there are so many ways you can approach it. The content is you approaching the game in a unique way that probably no one else has,
mm.
at least to the letter, right?
Yeah,
Like, you and with Minecraft, it's procedurally generated. There's different cave systems every time you go in. The world's going to be different. That's I would argue that you can make some content from that in a certain way if you go in with an objective.
mm,
Um, but the content around Let's Plays is very much the person doing their thing. And I hate to break it to you, or I hate to break it to everybody out there, but not everybody is built to be to produce content on their own personality. Like there's just people that
yeah.
who can't do it, and that's not a slight against them. It's just a fact of life.
Mm.
Not everyone is going to be built for entertaining people in that way to create that content.
Yeah, and it does come from that, like, you need to be that self-aware person to be a content creator. I think, like, you need to have that self-awareness. Like, if you're willing to go back and watch your stream and make a plan out to create something from it, and
Mm-hmm.
see where you're boring, and see where you're not engaging, and to see where you're
Yeah,
literally just sitting there playing a video game with a webcam on,
yeah,
like, it does. That's the level
yeah.
that you need to be at, because yeah,
Mm.
when people make videos, they watch the same piece of video 20 times to make sure that it's right,
Yeah,
and make sure it's funny, and well, not funny, but engaging or informative or whatever it is.
exactly.
There's a goal in
Yeah,
mind, and I think, just
that's
coming
right.
back to it, it's like it comes down to the plan and the goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And I've always said it before, whenever you're doing streaming content as you're starting out, you need to always act like there's 100 people watching you at any given time
oh yeah,
because again, if you're streaming and you're trying to create that content, as soon as you go blank, you're no longer creating content at all.
mm,
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, it's tough.
There's that let's
And
play thing. It's the weird thing where, okay, now there's a cutscene in a video game, so I'm going to shut the fuck up and I'm going to show you the
yeah,
cutscene. It's like,
yeah.
okay, at what level does it become? Is it content? What level am I? I'm making an active decision to let everyone watch this video game cutscene together. It's like,
Yeah,
well, okay,
exactly. It's a part of the storytelling. Maybe there's a piece of storytelling aspect that comes into it. So content creators, they think about the story, the flow of their content, and how they interject in that story and progress it along in their own way. That
yeah,
might be a step to it too. Um, and with live streaming content too, it also comes down to how you posit it too. So like if you just boot up Warzone and start playing without any catchy engagement, you could be the worst Warzone player in the world, and you could title stream going for my first Warzone win, and you sort of angle the stream towards that, and you sort of create content around that story of you trying to get that Warzone win. I would argue that could be content depending on how you execute it. If
mm,
you're a Warzone pro and you're going for the nuke, how many nukes can I get this stream, or can I get my first nuke? That sort of
yeah,
thing, like that, like that like creating that objective and creating that story there with that plan, I think goes a long way in differentiating between, Joe Schmo lazy bum playing games on a live
yeah.
stream and
This is the thing, right? Like, we're obviously uh taking two sides of the spectrum here,
yes,
where we're comparing people like like the top end of creators who can have a plan each stream and have editors and create the other content and short form and long form and all that stuff. And then we're comparing that to, as it said, Joe Schmo Gaming, literally sitting
with
there
with the 3-tone logo. By the way, we all know the one.
We all know what it is, or something copied from Google Images or something.
Yep.
Who sits there, clicks live, sits and ignores chat, and just does a game thing.
Yeah.
So it's obviously difficult, like at what level. That's why it's interesting to me, is like finding out where the level is. So if he's doing that, then Joe Schmo's Gaming going to go over and create a YouTube highlight for him sitting there killing people on Apex, let's say, is that technically content? It's like, well, yes.
Yeah. It's a weird one. And we're also, what we've sort of failed to discuss here, unfortunately, is the middle ground, right? So the middle ground between, like, the mid-tier content creator who might be going in all in on Twitch, has a bit of a following, and are playing games to a wide variety of people. Is that content at that point? So I'm going to pull up an example here of someone that we actually both know, and it's a good example, mind you. Zim Opti, who you are well familiar with.
Yeah,
the dude doesn't do. I don't think I've seen him ever. Like, I don't think he does. I know he does do YouTube. Sorry, he does do some YouTube stuff whenever he gets the time. I know he does tech reviews, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
but he's primarily doing like sim streaming and stuff like that. He's live right now at the moment, actually. But he's right now doing a 100 baby challenge in The Sims.
Yeah.
To me, that's content. He's set a precedent. He's set a challenge for himself, and
you know exactly what to expect when you're getting into that stream.
Exactly, and there's a story behind it. He's showing off that certain challenge of, in again an open-ended sandbox game like The Sims, of how to approach that and how to deal with it. That to me is content.
Yeah.
That is 100% content. And to me, that's a good example of how to turn a live stream into something content worthy. And like even something as simple as going for camo grinds on Modern Warfare, setting that precedent and going for that goal. That's content. Is it the best content? I would say not so, but it's still content.
Yeah.
Like it's
that level just above. Again, it's the difference between I'm playing Apex or I'm playing Warzone. It's like, well, now I guess I know what you're expecting. I'm expecting you to be playing Warzone.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's always going to be subjective. People are going to have different opinions based on their own experience and their own friends and their own content as well. So that's the thing, is like, when I look at it, I'm hanging when I watch a stream, when I watch a friend play a video game, or I'm playing a game with them and they're streaming, I'm just hanging out with them playing video games. Like, I'm not actively partaking in their content. That's the way I see it anyway. Because that's the way that my brain works. So I don't know. To me, it's just hanging out and playing video games, because I'm not the one who hit that go live button. It's not my plan. And if I'm just sitting there watching someone, I'm just watching that person do the thing. Like, I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see the content that they're creating.
No. And truth be told as well, I want to posit this as well before we end up here today. Not every stream, or not every, because we're mainly targeting streamers here, because let's be real.
Yeah.
Not every stream you do has to be with the objective of getting content. If you are actively posting elsewhere, and you are actively, and you're garnering that community, or that reach to a community elsewhere, and your goal is just to hang out with your chat or your community, or your goal is just to vibe out for a bit after a long day at work, and you want to try and earn some money on the side while doing it, or you just want to play with your viewers, like, that's perfectly acceptable. It's not, I wouldn't argue that it's content, but it's you still doing your thing. And if you want to be serious in the content creator space and you're making the effort elsewhere, then fuck it, have a relaxing stream. I do it. As I said, I do it all the time. Yeah,
I was about to say, you do it. Like, you make your videos, and then, well, to me, you're having a relaxing Saturday. You had a relaxing Sunday morning. You finally got everything set up. You're like, I'm going to play some Warzone and chat to chat and play with some friends.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, but you're not going to do anything with it. Your goal is not to create content. Your goal was to sit there and play Warzone.
That child clip was pretty fucking good. I'm gonna have to use that. Yeah, I'm sorry,
and
you're
that's
not
something
hiding.
that can happen. Actually, that's a good point. You didn't have the goal of creating content, but content was created
Just through incidental
because of
interaction.
random chance and stupid shit that happened. But
Yeah.
that clip would be arguably content if you made it into something else. But it came from something where you
Correct.
weren't creating content, if that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, the content was a byproduct of not going and creating content.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
oh God,
line. Yeah.
I feel like we're in the fucking Matrix right now.
My brain's just like,
I'm sure there's people that didn't even make it this far that are just seething at us at the moment. But you know, we'll deal with that as we do. Yeah, interesting. It's an interesting subject to go down. I don't know how long we've been on this one for, but
that's why it is interesting. We keep going random tangents. I could probably like go back when I go and edit this and go, oh well, we talked about this, and then we kind of went over here, and then it like kind of looped back and just did this for like 25 minutes.
It's going to be a very squiggly map, essentially. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. But it is okay to not be creating content.
Yes.
Like when I say that you sit there and you're playing video games to entertain, it's okay to be doing that. There's nothing bad in doing that. It's just you have to be the mindset that, in my opinion, you've got to realize that the primary goal there is to sit there and have fun and play with friends.
Exactly.
Or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's it comes down to what you're trying to achieve. If you're not trying to achieve that end goal of, you know, actually getting somewhere as a content creator, then do whatever the hell you want, son. Live your life. But yeah, I think that's what it comes down to.
And it comes down to that accidental thing, like with brands and niches and inside jokes and stuff. Sometimes you start, I think a lot of people probably start off doing that, and then it transitions into content creation if it works out for you. So that's kind of that, you know, when you decide to make a plan, when you decide that, oh, this might actually go somewhere, I better step up my game to do the thing to actually make this a content creation. To me, before then, it's just you're just sitting there doing whatever. You're just trying to entertain some people.
Exactly. No, I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Interesting. Very interesting.
It was good, enlightening, I guess, because we were just like, well, hang on, challenging our own points to say.
Exactly. And I challenge everyone in the comments that's watching this to do the same. Challenge your points of view. Challenge ours.
Tell us like what you think as well. If we're wrong, you know, there's no animosity there. We're not going to bloody hate you or whatever either. If you think you're just wrong. No.
Remember, we're redundant.
Yeah,
okay?
We're the redundant opinions.
Here.
We're the one that's on the screen. But no, welcome all the discussion on that as well, because it is obviously an interesting topic, and people will have different opinions based on their own lives and what they do, and if they're able to make a life out of it or not, that's fine too.
That's up to them. Exactly right. Anyway,
what do we is that's probably it. I think that's probably all of our discussion points.
I think we've done pretty well there. Yeah,
we made it through.
We did. Good effort.
We've got other stuff in the back burner. Like I want to talk about like actually doing scripting in videos, but it might be something that we might have to leave for another episode, because that will be another rabbit hole that we'll get into about rewriting and grammar and having a decent vocabulary. Anyway, and pacing, and it's different for every type of video and all that stuff. So that maybe might be next episode's big talking point or something.
Yeah, exactly right. Nah, sounds good.
Cami, what have you got? What have you got in the works coming up?
Well, now that I'm back to some form of normality, you know, back to video making, I'll be. I've got some Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 weapon reviews on the way, guides, that sort of thing. We'll definitely be getting more BattleBit out, PlanetSide returns as well in a few videos too. So lots on the way in the first-person shooter space for me. We even did a video on Battlefield 2042 lately, which hate myself for, but you know, here we are. Yeah, and that'll be what keeps me busy going forward. What about you, Koshi?
You actually played the Battlefield?
It played me. I didn't play it.
Can you still get hovercrafts to like go up buildings?
No,
Is that no?
thank
You
the
can't do
Lord.
anything.
No,
Oh god.
they can't do that anymore. But there is a railgun that's hit scan in the game now and headshots at any range. It's not technically hit scan, but it may as well be fucking hit scan. Yeah, oh yeah, and it can damage vehicles too. In case that couldn't get any worse.
Jesus.
So, if you have a squad of fucking railgunners just chilling out in the middle of the night, and it can be fully automatic, and it can have a burst fire mode as well, alongside the charge up, and anyone can use it.
Why play anything else?
And it's got a 20 round mag. So 20 rounds before needing to reload, where you can just one shot people
at any range.
Any range.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what did you say before? This is the state that they wanted the game to be released.
This is apparently where they wanted it to be. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dice is a shell of its former self, but anyway.
Oh man, they are just bring on BattleBit. Jesus Christ.
Oh, holy shit.
Next playtest on the 17th of December, but unfortunately I'll be in Melbourne, so that'll probably misalign with this podcast as well. I might have to do it on a Monday or something for a recording.
My Christmas party, or my second Christmas party, is the night before that, so I'm going to be hungover. But fuck it, I'm not missing a BattleBit playtest.
Oh no, for sure.
No.
Because we got another 2 weeks that'll line up with that as well. So it'll be like, I'll probably have to end up recording on the 19th. We'll see.
Well, what do you got going on, Koshi?
Not being hungover anymore, thankfully. I'm getting to the point now where I'm old enough to realize that hangovers take at least a day to get over. Because I got home at like 4 a.m. the night of my work Christmas party. So it was a lot to get over.
Love that. Love that for you. That's great.
Working on, as I said, I've been working on a couple of reviews, and then I get halfway through them and I write about it, and then I stopped doing that. It gets from work and things like that where you have that afternoon of terrible work, and you get home, you're like, I don't want to sit there and activate my brain for another 4 hours while I write and edit and shit.
Exactly right.
But yeah, I'll be working on the Pokemon review. Long and short of it is, it's a fun game that runs like absolute dog shit.
Sweet.
And yeah, it's very painful, and it misses out on just having voice acting.
Right.
There was a mod video that someone, not modded, but a bunch of voice actors did voiceover for the game, like in the cutscenes, and it makes the game so much better. Like, it just feels more engaging and stuff. Sure. So yeah, but yeah, hopefully that'll be out. I don't know when it's done. I don't want to rush the content. I'm going to feel terrible if I do that. And if it comes out over Christmas, then it's a video that comes out over Christmas.
Which ain't a bad thing for review content either.
Yeah, waiting for like a Christmas guide or something like that. And then basically between now and that, we'll have this episode up, and we'll have another episode up probably before the end of the year. The next episode will probably be Game of the Year type things, I guess.
Yeah, that could be fun. Yeah.
Talk about big games. Hopefully finish God of War by then. We'll see.
Yeah, if I have the time. Yeah,
if you have the time. And then it'll be 2023, which, holy shit, it's just absolutely rolled past.
Don't talk to me.
No.
Don't talk to me. No, I don't want to know about it. I really don't.
It's been a year. Like, we're finally getting back to it. Like, being able to get back past all the Rona and everything. And then it's like, oh yeah, the year's gone. Shit.
Yeah. Basically, it's a shame. It's a shame that that's the case, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Cami, where can they find you on the internets of the internets to make sure that they tell you all your wrong opinions?
All my wrong opinions. At Kamikaze78 and all socials down below, that being Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok being my main ones. And if you want to go look at archived photography work from time to time, at Cami Camera 78, which is on Instagram. But again, that account's kind of dead right now. I do want to revive it though, so we'll see if I can somehow add a 25th hour to the day. I'll see if I can get that going.
just changing time and space just so we can have more social content.
Basically. And Koshi, yourself?
Yep, find me all the things at Kochiefy, Kochiefy, review content, podcast content, and I usually have the Discord and stuff like that. I think I have like discord.io/Kochiefy to join the Koshi corner now. So you can join my corner of the internet. think there's a link on my channel, my YouTube channel, or post it in the doobly doo or whatever as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Otherwise, I'm usually on Cami's stream playing Warzone, or other people's streams. I'm just watching non-content on Twitch.
Non-tent. Oh God.
Non-tent. Awesome.
There we go.
Well, we hope you have I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let us know. Leave a like. Subscribe for more episodes like this. Go subscribe to Cami. I'll leave a link. Blah 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 as well. Yeah. We'll see you next time, and hope you have a wonderful morning, noon, or night wherever you are. And yeah, catch you later.
Thanks all.
Peace.
Okay, quick, find some filler. That's good.
Just extend it out. Just come on, we can stretch that shit.
Quick.
We don't have the hardware to stretch it out. All right, it's just.